5 years, and I'll be who she wanted me to be. I'll be who he wanted me to be. I'll be who my mama wanted me to be. But I decided to just be me.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Tiffany Parra, visionary author, life coach. I wear a lot of hats, but anyhow, I want to talk to you about this awesome and amazing conference that we just recently had. Here in sunny Southern California, in Rancho Cucamonga, I hosted the first annual Girl Powerhouse Network. For someone, as me as a host and as someone that has been the facilitator of this, it could be really stressful, but I will tell you, when Carrie got there and when she got in the room and started doing her thing, she really was able to bring some of that, ease to me. So if you are having an event and you just want somebody, it's just absolutely magnificent, you are going to definitely want to check out Carrie Irene DrSue. Thank you so much. Happy conferences.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday evening. Welcome to the late night happy hour. What's up? What's up, Dr. Susan?
I'm turning my phone off. Oh, I already did. Oops.
You cut it back off.
Hey, y'all. Yeah. Irene, I love you. How are you doing, girl?
I love you too, Susan. I love you too. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, see, it looks like on Facebook, your video look a lot better. So it may be my bandwidth or something like that. So hello, everybody out there. Welcome to Late Night Happy Hour, first of all, with Carrie Irene and DrSue, where what comes up comes out, baby, because that's how we do it. So we don't really have a topic. We come on here just to talk about energetic principles, how they apply to everyday life, through telling stories about things that have just happened to us throughout the week, throughout the day, throughout whenever. And we just like to come on here and jump on here and share those things with you, see what you think about them. We love, love, love feedback. So if there's anything that we say that resonates with you, please comment. Tell us what you think about it. No comments are off limits. We just ask everybody to be respectful, of course. So Dr. Sue, what you been up to? How you feeling today?
Well, tonight, y'all, and she looks into the camera. I went to church. I want you to know I went and prayed for you. All of you heathens that didn't go, I went for you. Harry, I went for you.
I ain't no heathen. You went for me, but hey, I ain't no heathen.
So what's coming up for me? Actually, on the serious side, I've had some really interesting spiritual experiences, and I just want to share because I wonder, for ever so long, when I began to have these different experiences, I kept thinking, I don't want to be crazy. So I wouldn't tell anybody what I was experiencing or what I was seeing or hearing. And I just wonder how many people are making themselves small. You're keeping yourself small. God has given you a bigness, some kind of gift, whatever it is, it's yours, and God has given it to you. and yet you stand in a place of fear because you don't want to be different. You don't want people to think that you're weird or whatever. And so you hold yourself tight. I did that for a lot of years. And then there came a time when God said, no more. I called you. You were called, you were anointed, you were appointed even before you were born. And I said, okay. But I still didn't want to go. I still didn't want to do what I was being told to do. Earlier this summer, I had an experience where I was at my nephew's church, which is where I was tonight. I was at his church, and they were having a revival, and the I don't even know what the preacher talked about. They had 3 different ministers. I went 3 different days, and every day that I was there, I don't know what the minister was talking about, but I know what God was doing with me, which is saying to me, "You've been called, and my people are hungry. Feed my sheep. My people are hungry." And I could see in my spirit mind, I could see people looking like with like little baby chicks as far as I could see. So many people, and they were looking up to me, and the words were literally coming out of my mouth. Not only was I hearing them, but it's like I could see the spelling of the words coming out of my mouth going into the mouths of the other people. That happened 3 days in a row. On the 3rd day, God said, I have it was so interesting because at the same time that God was saying to me that I have placed my mantle upon you, my nephew, who is the minister, threw his scarf. Now, I didn't know that his scarf was his mantle that had been given to him by someone else. I didn't even know what a mantle was. Talk to me about mantle. I'm thinking about something that you put your knickknacks on over the fireplace, right? So when that happened, later when I talked to him, I said, "What? When you threw that scarf, why did you do that? What were you thinking?" He said, "I was being obedient." Said, "God told me to throw it." At the time that he threw it, I heard, "I placed my mantle upon you." Now I knew that I was being called to speak God's word. Didn't know what that was supposed to be. No, I'm not supposed to be in the pulpit as a preacher. That's not what I'm called to do. So I just went about I said, okay, and I went about my little happy way. Well, this past year I went to church, and how about the same thing happens, right? But this time God says, you have been disobedient, that I told you that my people are hungry, feed my people. I told you that my people are hungry for my word. And it's like, I don't even know. I was caught up. Now, because I'm not a churchy kind of person, church people would say caught up with the Holy Spirit. I just know that the heavens opened up and the energy flooded through me. And that's what I know, that divine connection with God. That's how I experience it. And there a couple of things happened. God used me as a healing instrument with this lady, with a couple of people in church. And so, but the thing left with is, you haven't been obedient. I told you to speak on me. I told you to speak my word. Now, I still don't know how that's supposed to be, but I know that I'm supposed to be more vocal about it. And as I was thinking about what was coming up for me tonight is like, how, if you believe in God, if you believe in source, whatever it is you believe in, that is the creator of all of us, how does that, how do you experience that? How how do you experience that, and how do you get clarity on what the work is or the message is that you're supposed to adhere to? Carrie Irene, take it away, girl.
Well, you said a lot. And it's funny, not ha funny, but very ironic, because the masterclass that I'm doing has taken on the same spiritual area as the last one, because the last one I changed the whole curriculum the night, well, 2 days before. And this time, at least God gave me a little leeway, because the message that I got for this one coming up actually came through a friend. And so she called me, and she reminded me of something that we actually talked about. I don't know if she told me because she remembered that we talked about it or just because it came to her fresh again. But it's the concept of Moses and how when Moses was coming into who he was, one of the things he constantly was telling Moses was to, one of the things he told Moses was to look and see what is in your hand. And at that time, the staff was in his hand. And the importance is not so much as what was in his hand, but it's the fact that we all have something in our hands that we are not using. We all have something. We all have our innate abilities. We all have our thing. So many people, and if you don't believe me, just go to TikTok, because like I always say, there are people on there whispering for a living and making good money doing it. So if you don't think you can't just use what you have, you are sadly mistaken, because it does not matter what it is that you have in your hand. You just have to be in a space to where you have expanded enough by being in the right rooms around the right people, making more conscious and individualized and personal decisions to put you first and to follow your instinct, so that when the opportunity comes up, instead of saying I'm not equipped or I'm not ready, just say I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna use what I got right now to get started, because I know I got something in my hands. And it doesn't matter what that something is. We all got that something. And I like how you were talking about how for a long time you shrink yourself, because sometimes once we see what's in our hands, we still compare it to what somebody else got in their hands. You know, he had a stick, but Samson had his hair. You know, and those two things have absolutely nothing in common. The only thing they have in common is that you believe in the fact that it has power behind it. That is the only prerequisite, is that you believe that there's power behind anything you use that's going towards the goal or the outcome that you choose. And so as you were talking about how, your thing was shrinking and not want people to see it because you knew what you had in your hand was really big. And so you shrank it. I knew what I had was in my hand was really big. But I spent so much time, and for lack of a better term, I wasted a lot of time trying to explain it to other people, trying to get them to understand it, trying to get them to validate it. I was very vocal about it. I didn't hide it. I want to tell everybody, but everybody's like, shut up about it already. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's cool, whatever, but you've been saying it so long, it done lost its flavor. You chewed the mess out that gum, and ain't nobody want to taste that Hubba Bubba no more. It's just, Hubba Bubba, what we used to call it, ABC gum, already been chewed. And we chew on that thing, and it loses its taste for them and for us. But because we have same thing, that is truly what an energetic block or a wall, whatever you want to call it, something in the way that you got to figure out how to get around. That's really only a block is. That's the only thing a wall ever is. Something is right there, and you just got to figure out how to get around it. That's it. You was trying to go this way, and maybe you're going to have to bob and you're going to have to weave. It don't matter what you do. Just make sure that you use what's in your hand right now to get it. Because if you're looking for the thing that you want in your hand from 2 years from now, you can't utilize that now. You can capture the energy of it, but you can't utilize it right now. You have to use what's in your hand right now in order to make the best next step forward, right?
So I've been wrestling with that, and I'm just curious if, I don't know who is on, but if anybody's on, whether they are having a similar experience in terms of feeling. We spend so much time asking, well, God, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? And God says, this is your purpose. This is your purpose. And you go, okay, God, but what's my purpose, God? What's my real purpose? And we're looking for, oftentimes we're looking for the big thing, the flashing lights, and the purpose could be just to be in a space of peace, so that when you walk into the room, you bring that with you and it calms everybody else's energy down. That's huge, because so many people are stressed and so many people can't reach that place of peace. But when it's like, I had a friend, very gifted, but whenever she would talk about her gifts, she would minimize them. Oh, it's just this. No, it's not just this. It's not just this, as in it's just this little thing. It's huge. It's the thing that makes you special. It's the thing that makes you different. Because even when other people can do when other people have similar gifts, they are similar. They're not the same. The fact that you are you makes your gift totally different, and how you are to bring that forth. That's what makes you unique. And that's one of the things, honestly, that's one of the things that I'm leaning into it. It's a bit scary. It's my human self would say it's big. It's so big that it's scary. My spirit self would say it's no bigger than what God intended for it to be. It is exactly the right size. It's perfect. You're growing into it. You're growing into it. And so every day, what I know is whether I'm feeling more comfortable talking about it, because God has given me some powerful gifts. And the thing that is important, that the point that I want to emphasize is, it's like God gives you these gifts on loan. They're not yours. He uses you, me, as instruments. So without God, we're nothing, right? But when we lean into this divine power, into this divine authority, when we call on the divine authority that God has given us, then we can do almost anything, if we believe it. So I'm just learning to believe.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. It was, you said I'm just letting what?
Learning to believe that, yeah, I'm doing this. Not that I'm going to, but I'm doing this. I'm living in the space and as the person, as the being that God intended me to be. It's been a long time getting here.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm going to play the clip for our upcoming, finally coming around. We made this video. Well, I made this video, or we created this video years ago. In 2026, we are having a space retreat finally. But in that video, you were saying like it was a long time coming for you to get to these points. And we say that we constantly evolve. Change is the only constant. We say these cliche things, but we don't embody them. Let's be real. If we truly embody a lot of the things that we say and really own them and implemented them into our lives, it would eliminate a lot of fear. Now, anxiety and like the unknown and those things, yes, they can create this uneasy feeling because it's not familiar to us. However, that crippling fear is a lack of faith. That crippling fear, that hesitation is a lack of faith in some area. And it doesn't necessarily have to be any cliche area. You may have a lack of faith in, the economy. You're scared because you've saved up this money and you've seen how this has affected this person and this person. You're not sure what's going to happen, whatever, but you lack that faith in the economy. But then again, so if we go back to a lot of the cliche things, it's like the last thing you should ever put your trust in. And I don't care and it's not, this isn't from the Bible, this is from life experience. Your trust is not supposed to be in the economy. It's not supposed to be in the person that's beside you, because I guarantee you that there have been people, and I dare to say that even you, that at times you've either helped someone or you have gave someone something, or spoken something to someone, and you had no idea why you did it. It was just on your heart to do it. It was a nudge or a pull or something laid on your heart for you to do. And you were aligned to do something that you had no say so, to help someone in their lives that they had no idea who you were, where you came from, and never saw you again. We've all had those moments, because that is the alignment of when someone truly has faith and things start to show up for them and it doesn't make any sense. A lot of times we talk ourselves out of blessing because we talk so much on the confusion of the fact that your blessing didn't make sense, that more confusing things come, and then it leaves you there. It's like, okay, you could have propelled the blessing, yet your focus was on the confusion because you didn't understand it. Because we lack faith in believing that we are truly taken care of. We're still here. Something went right somewhere. Why can't we focus on these things instead of being crippled by the hesitation, by the imposter syndrome, all the decision paralysis, and all the stuff is a lack of trust. It really is a lack of trust. But the thing is, a lot of times you have to sit and question yourself, what is it that I'm putting my trust in anyway? And a lot of times, if you can pinpoint that, you can explain why it's so shaky.
We've been programmed to believe in everything outside of us. We've been programmed. I mean, religion programs us to believe in a God that's not within us. Religion programs us to believe in all of these other, they would say that it's not idolatry, but there are all of these other idols. And if I'm stepping on anybody's toes, I apologize, but that's my view. The education institutions train us to believe that we have to be a certain thing. We essence are being trained to believe in a system that is not supportive of who we are. We're being trained to believe that a credential, a degree is going to be the ultimate to elevate you to this position of status. And that's just plain crap, right? So all of these things that we're being trained to believe that if you don't have the right house, the right car, and the right neighborhood, then you're not anything, right? And so here God gives you a gift, whether it is the gift of healing, the gift of clairaudience, or whatever the gift is. You can't see it. It's not material. You can't see it, so you don't believe in it. And when I talk about that, I'm talking based on my experience. I didn't understand that that was what was happening, but that is the program that we all drink the same Kool-Aid. Some of us realize that it's poisonous Kool-Aid early on. Some of us realize that these things have no value early on, or we put them in the right place. But many of us are caught in lockstep, and we go from birth to death, and we still don't know. We're like, we are sleepwalking in a world that is where we think that the most important things are outside of us, when the most important things I'm finding are within you. It is the divinity within you, and it is the invisible world that you can't see. It is the spiritual world that has the most importance, most relevance.
Yeah, Michelle, it's like when you start talking about the train stuff, like how we're programmed to think one thing or believe one thing, and it really does put a dark cloud on top of the bright faith that we have. And then there's that overcast, it's just kind of the best way to explain it, because the sun doesn't go anywhere. The blessings are lined up. They come everywhere everywhere. I mean, you literally can't I was going to say you can't have your eyes open and not see a blessing, but you can't have them closed and not see one. If you close your eyes right now, you can still envision something to be thankful for. You don't even need your eyes. And that alone is a blessing, that you have them to even shut. We came from nothing. We came from absolutely nothing. And here we are, walking, talking, breathing, living, thinking, calculating beings that can truly do anything. If I wanted to run through that window right now and fly out of that window and plummet down one story, I could do that. I could do that. Does it make sense? No, it don't make sense to me, because I don't like pain like that. But could I? Yes, I could. There's nothing that you can say to me that I cannot figure out a way to do. I mean, I want everybody you ain't got to put it in the comments, but think of something, think of anything that you think that I can't do. Can you think of anything that you can actually type out that I can't figure out a way to do? Like anything, like even if it's fly without a plane. The Wright brothers did it. They already done that a long time ago. Breathe fire. People do it all the time. You can figure it out. You can get an apparatus to do anything. Any type of apparatus can create a pathway and steps for you to do absolutely anything. Ask that little clone sheep. Donald Trump's the president, for God's sakes. I can do anything that I want to do. Okay. Absolutely anything. Would you agree, Dr. Sue? You're going to have to mute yourself, because
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And my friend and another friend and I were talking about something very similar earlier. She asked me how it is, why did I go into law enforcement? And I said, every position that I have held, I went in because somebody told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't do it. And I said, you are out of your freaking mind. I can do anything I want to do. I can do anything I want to do because despite what the other external institutions were saying, my mama said, you can be anything you want to be. You can be the president if you want to. You just have to try. And she would say, nothing beats failure but a try. I didn't get it. Y'all got that? Nothing beats failure. And the way she would say it, it would like run together. Nothing beats a failure but a try. Like, oh, okay. So if I try, I can beat failure. Got it. So every position that I've ever held, I have been one Black or one woman or one Black and one woman in those positions. But it was because I never really liked doing, I can think of maybe one job I had that I really liked. I did it because I wanted to. But even that, when I was a law enforcement trainer, legal trainer, traveling around the country, no other Black women were doing it. You told me I couldn't do it. I can do this. We can do. God has given us so much power, greatness. Oh my God, I'm on my little box here. Greatness is your birthright. It is your birthright. You're great just because you are. You're great just because when the Bible says that God created us in God's image, y'all just think about that, the power. Think about what that means, right? And to the extent that we can't do it, it is because of the program that is running in our mind. We can't do it because we don't believe we can do it. When you start to believe that you can, see how quickly your energy shifts. Now, are you going to be able to do these things overnight? No, some things you're not going to do. Some things you're going to get up and try to fly, and you're going to fall flat on your face. But you know what? Get up again and again and again. It gets easier. And over time, you look back and you go, dang, look how far I've come. I can do this. And then you're like, this is so easy. But it wasn't easy when you started. You change your mind. Change your mind. Change your mindset. Reprogram and change your life. Stand in your greatness. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Those gifts that God has given you, the gift of intellect. Do you know how many people would want to have your level of intelligence? Do you know that? I don't know who you are. I don't know who's listening, but do you know how many, the fact that you're listening, the fact that you have the ability to listen. When I was at church tonight, I shared, y'all know I tell my business, so I'm telling my business again. Yesterday was kind of a hard day. It was a hard day because I went to the bookstore. That was the easy part. Worked at the bookstore. I come home and, you know, I lost my son. I didn't lose my son. My son transitioned, right? But there are days when I feel his presence so strongly and at the same time feel the absence of his physical presence. And so yesterday was one of those days. I walk in the house and it's like his presence is there and I'm almost looking for his physical presence. But of course he's not here. And I felt myself spiraling down. And it was so, I had some other work to do, but by the time it was time for me to go to bed, it was so hard. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about him. I kept thinking, I'm here in this, God told me this is not a desert, but I'm here in this desert called Gainesville, Florida. And I'm just here and my son's gone and I haven't made any real friends yet. And it's just different. My life is back in Atlanta, but I'm here. And so I was finally I fell asleep maybe around 2, but I woke up at 3 and then I couldn't get back to sleep. I tossed, I turned, I couldn't get back to sleep. So around, and now I'm beginning to feel some kind of way like, God, what are you doing? I don't know how y'all talk to God, but this is what I say. What are you doing? I don't understand it. I don't understand why I'm here. I don't understand. You said I'm not being obedient, but you're not telling me exactly, listen to this. You're not telling me exactly what you want me to do. You're not telling me exactly what you want me to say. You say your people are hungry and I'm supposed to feed them. What am I supposed to feed them? I don't know. You need to tell me something, right? And I'm getting all agitated and now I really can't sleep. So I reach out to my friend and I say, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I reach out to her and I say, I don't want to talk. I just want you to pray for me. Just pray. Right. So she sent me this beautiful meditation, just a musical meditation for relaxation. I was finally able to go to sleep. So I wake up around 7, 5, 7. And now I'm thinking about, wow, that was some night, some night. And now I'm at decision point. This is the point that I want you all to focus on. Now I am conscious of being at decision point. Am I going to take that same energy of angst, of not being able to sleep, of being, I wasn't angry at God, just trying to figure out, feeling really discombobulated. Am I going to take that energy into my day, or am I going to shift it? So I said, God, I'm thankful for my fingers. I'm thankful for my fingers. I'm thankful for my hands because I got all 5 of my fingers, my hands. I'm thankful for my wrists. And I just went body part by body part. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the fact that I can even be thankful, because you know how many people might want to be thankful and can't. They cannot form the thoughts. They don't have the capacity. And so I just went through that, everything I could think of. I'm grateful for my feet. These these corns on my feet, I'm grateful for them because that helps me to know that I got feet, y'all. I'm just saying. And so I went through this whole thing. And guess what? By the time I finished, I'd shifted the energy. Now I'm in an energy of gratitude. Now I'm just so grateful. That changed my whole day. We have power. The power, the mind drives your life. It used to be, I would hear them people say, you create your reality, and I would go, I ain't create this shit. I'm not. But God has this thing up here, this brain. It is absolutely so powerful. You get choice as to how. Michelle quit it. Them corns. you you get power. You get choice as to what is the life that you want to have. I could have decided last night was horrible. I didn't sleep well. I'm just going to languish in this and stay in the bed all day and just wrap myself up in depression and victim and all of that. I've done that. Or I could shift into gratitude. Gratitude is the highest vibration. I knew that if I shifted into gratitude, I would automatically raise my vibration. You can't be up and down at the same time, but it's about choice. What's your choice? Carrie?
Yeah, I completely agree. And I was just thinking about how you're talking about sometimes you get distracted by the outcome and the decision versus making the decision. And I think a lot of us get that, because before we make the decision, we want to know, okay, when I make this decision, what are the steps to carry it out? Who am I supposed to call on? Who's going to come help me? What does it look like now? And we're looking for way too much beyond making a decision, because we're so stuck in what's on the other side of the decision, when truly what we need to first do, and this is just what I offer to anyone, and if you have a pen and pencil, I would suggest writing this down. But once you start to make when it comes to time to make a decision, the first thing I would do is, however you do it, you can do it in prayer, you can do it in journaling, you can do it in artwork like I do. Look at this. Look all that in there. You can do it however you need to do it. You can do it in poetry. You can do it in a vision board. You can do it however you want to do it. Meditation. But you need to get in your physical being what your ideal outcome is. Once you get your ideal outcome, roll around in it, and I guarantee you, the first thing that makes you open your eyes or stop what you're doing or shift your focus, go with that. Go with it. And when I say go with it, I don't mean pussyfoot around it either. I mean shit. Get off the pot, clean your ass, and go do that step. Do you hear what I'm telling you? I promise you. I promise you. You may not see that one idea to its completion, but where it will send you will be exactly where you need to go. And that is going to be a test of you trusting your intuition. Because a lot of us start, we're like, oh my God, but I decided to do this. And when I started to do this, this took over. Let it. Let it. What are you waiting on? Like, if you're looking for guidance, then go. If you're looking for guidance, you have to go. You can't go back and research what happened, over here if nothing is wrong. A lot of us, because plans change or things don't look like, we want to attach that to, oh, something's wrong. No, this has become the way. This is where you are, and from right here, from right now, take just the next best step. Not the plan. You can't do the plan in a day. You have to take this step, the next best step. Today is the day of your salvation, right? Not tomorrow. You can't have salvation yesterday and you can't have it tomorrow, but you can have it every single right now that you decide to pay attention. Another good practice that I like to do is to get into the car, cut your GPS on, and get lost. Get lost. Don't worry about what road you're on. Don't worry about how far you go. Fill up your gas tank and get lost. Stop when you want to stop, though. Get a snack when you want to get a snack, though. Talk to who you want to talk to, though. Give to who you want to give to, though. And don't plan shit in your day. And allow yourself to be drawn. And I guarantee you by the end of your day, something's going to happen that's going to rock your world. You're going to be amazed. It's going to be something as simple as you ride behind a car that's got a license plate number that's your phone number. You know what I mean? Something crazy like that. Something's going to happen. But when you see that, that's going to trigger something else and trigger something else. And nothing may happen. Nothing may transform other than your mind. And where does it start? Right here. Because when you start seeing synchronicities, that's why we like those angel numbers and stuff like that, because that's a way of getting our attention, because we're so distracted by every fucking thing else that we can't see the simple shit no more. God is not on the mountaintop. God is in you. It's you. And if you can't do your portion, you sure as hell ain't got no business out here trying to figure out tomorrow's portion. Today's portion is your portion. Tomorrow's not promised. I feel like that's reiterated in the Bible, not because tomorrow's not important, but because we put too much importance on it. Because tomorrow has its own things. You will worry about those things, quote unquote, tomorrow, though. Today is the present. That's why it's called the gift. What she had said. She said, what does the ideal outcome even look like? That's what I'm talking about. Absolutely. This is absolutely what I'm talking about. What does it look like? Only you can answer that question. And not only you answer the question, but only you can change your mind about it and allow yourself to evolve into it. Because I can tell you right now, a lot of times I thought I knew what the ideal relationship looked like until I got it. I thought I knew what the ideal pair of shoes were until I put them on. But I'm not going to spend the rest of my life telling you about the worst pair of shoes I wore. I'm going to tell you about the best pair of shoes I ever bought, because I went through so many trials and tribulations for people with feet like mine that I can tell you what my feet like. I'm not going to tell you everything it don't like. So why do we spend so much time analyzing the things that we do wrong, the mistakes that we had, the wrong turn that we took? Why not show up and say, girl, I had one hell of a trip and I made it. Now it's time to have a good time. Can't you say that? Ain't that the same thing? Ain't you anything that you glad that it's over? Why can't you celebrate that it's over? Not tell the story, the miserable fucking story over and over again about how bad, oh my God, look, all the way here, girl, then I stop. Then we just did. And then the next person come in the room, you got to tell them. And then the next person came in and halfway through, so then you finish telling, then you backtrack to tell the other part. Then when little Jerry comes, you tell another. And every time you tell it, the story is worse and worse, worse. And now you, oh, go ahead, go ahead. Unmute yourself, unmute yourself.
I am never telling Carrie a story but one time. I'm just saying. What you tell me, Carrie? How many times you gonna tell me that? You've already told me 4. Oh, okay. I was deep, y'all. I was in it. And so often we are in it. But one of the things that came up for me while you were talking, and I just wanted to go back to this. When I spoke, I said that I reached out to a friend at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I told her, pray. I don't want to talk. I did not want to talk to her. What I was thinking in my own mind is, you pray, and I'm praying. This really is between me and God, and you're my support team. You're there to support me, right? But I have to do this for myself. Michelle, back off, girl. Back off. I'm just saying. How many times you gonna tell me? One time, y'all. Carrie is a one-hit wonder. Don't be going in there 2, 3, and 4 times, because But you know what? That when you told me that, what did I do? Like, I didn't realize. I was in the dream. I was in the program. I didn't realize that I had told you that many times. And so what that makes me and has made me do is be very conscious of the story. What is my internal narrative? And what is the narrative that I am sharing with other people? And how many times am I sharing it? And what I find now that I am conscious of it is, many times I'll just say, hey, I don't have anything to say. I may tell one person, or I may tell 2 people, but I'm not going to tell them 2 or 3 times. And after that, I'm not talking about that. It's like, because energetically it's pulling you down. I agree with Carrie. Where you want to be is, you don't like what happened. You don't like how you showed up. You don't like how they showed up. You can't control how they showed up, but you can control how you showed up. So how do you want to show up, right? I love Neville Goddard. And one of the things that he talks about is that imagination is so powerful, and that we have the ability to revise our experiences. So if you have an experience that you don't like the way you showed up, you get to mentally revise it, right? Using your imagination. You create in your imagination, you see it the way that you wanted it to be. And you do that constantly. And what you'll find is that you're drawing that energy to you. But not only are you drawing that kind of energy to you, you're changing, you're rewriting your program, you're overwriting the program that currently exists that says show up as an asshole. And now you're showing up as a compassionate person. Now you're showing up as your authentic self, because that's who you really truly are, and that's who you want to be. We have the power to revision ourselves. But we have to have the intention and the desire and the awareness of what it is that we want to change. Then you begin that change process. Something I wrote the other day, and I don't know if it was mine or somebody else's, but I thought I wrote down that all action can be change, but not all change is transformation or transformative. And so as we are making these changes, are you actually transforming, or are you just going around in circles? When I was telling Carrie that story 4 times, I was going around in a circle. In order to break out of that circle, she helped me to interrupt the pattern. Sometimes we have people to interrupt the pattern. Sometimes we have to have the presence of mind where you tune into your body, what's going on in your body, and you interrupt the pattern yourself. If you develop a habit of being conscious of who you are, who you're being, how you're being, and feeling into your body and scanning it, and being conscious of what you're thinking, having that awareness, then it's easier to also develop the pattern, the habit of interrupting the pattern. And that's when the affirmation comes in. If you don't if you're saying affirmations, but you have not broken with that old behavior, with the old thought process, it's like pouring oil on water. And then you want to know, well, why don't the affirmations work? The affirmations work. You're not working them the way they're supposed to be worked. That's all. The affirmations work.
You said the affirmations work. You don't. Oh!
Think about it. I mean, they work. Angelique.
Yeah, you're right. They absolutely do. And the one thing that I wanted to, because we at the top of the hour, so we're gonna give our final remarks. This has been great. This is blessing me too. I wrote my own notes. So I don't know if you in charge of your notes. I wrote my own notes, but I got a couple I want to share as well. When you are in that space, and sometimes we do find ourselves what we call circling the drain energetically, right? Because once, for instance, like a piece of hair, when I'm washing my hair is really, really curly. It looks like a bunch of pubic hairs everywhere in the tub, when I'm taking a shower, right? Right. And as that hair comes out of my comb or off my body, whatever, I catch as much as I can of it before it goes down the drain, because I know that if too much go down at one time or too much over time, it will create a clog. It's the same as anything else. Things that are going to come. We're all going to lose hair. We all are shedding things every single day. That's why it says we die daily. Every single day, there are going to be things that are going to come through and just going to flush over us, stick to us, get in us. And we have to have a practice, a routine, something happening in our lives on a regular basis to where we're checking in with ourselves, to where we are paying attention to ourselves, so that we can, like Dr. Sue, get to that point where we are making those edits ourselves, right? Because this is something that you can get a coach for. This is why people go to pastors. This is why people go to confession. This is why people go to the chiropractor. It's the maintenance that we have to take, but we have to do that spiritually as well, to take care of ourselves so energetically we don't create this muck, backup, block, clog, wall, whatever you want to call it, trigger, trauma, all of the things, because we haven't done the necessary steps to shut up about the past. And shut up about the future and sit right here, right now, knowing what I've learned and knowing what I can apply in order to make just the next best step. Relax. Take time to breathe. Go out to eat. Buy the pocketbook. Do what you got to do. But you got to calm down, because you circling a drain that you ain't even supposed to go down, baby. You're supposed to be flying. Get your ass out the tub. Get your booty on the porch now. Make your own day. Because you can do that. You can build or you can destroy. And it all happens with the thoughts that you think, because that turns into the words that you say, and that turns into the days that you see, and that turns into the legacy that you leave. Generational trauma is just someone who refuses to do something different when they see what they doing ain't working. That's all that is. All right, so the last thing I wanted to leave also is also pay attention to if you are around people who speak life into you and talk positively to you during those down moments, and you start to get frustrated. A lot of times we get frustrated because we trying to vent, right? And then the people that we're talking to are trying to bring us up out of it. Because ask yourself, why do I feel like I need to explain it further? Why do I feel like I need to connect with this pain deeper before I can let it go? There's got to be some kind of reason. I can't speak for you. I know I've had to ask that question for me, and I won't even share what my answer is. Make sure you ask yourself that question. Why are these positive people, a lot of times like real happy people, like, don't nobody wake up that happy? Why not? We find ourselves, you a Monday person. Oh, here go a Monday person. Why why not? Why are you so annoyed by people being that happy? Ask yourself, because that's a real question. All right, I love you. It ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm going to let Dr. Sue give, after Dr. Sue give her final words, I do want to remind people of a few dates to consider. But Dr. Sue, give your final words on the subject.
Oh, oh, okay.
Lord, God,
Um,
you got the whole thing, goodness.
I know what happened. You know, I'm touching things that I shouldn't be touching. I don't know nothing about technology. Um, okay, so what? I'm a happy Monday person, Angelique. Angelique, I am not a happy Monday person. I'm just saying, but I'm working on it. I'm getting better. Praise the Lord. I'm going to borrow a little bit of yours. I just want to remind you that God has given each of us, God, by whatever name you call him, her, it, has given each of us many, many gifts. We oftentimes we tend to minimize them, but even when you're speaking life into someone else, that's a gift because not everybody has the ability to do that. And so I would encourage you to just reassess how you're showing up and reassess what your strengths are. Everybody has a gift. And then related to that, I go back to greatness is your birthright. You're great just because you exist. God created you in God's image. You don't ever have to justify that or explain it or and it doesn't matter whether anybody else thinks you're great or not. You just need to know in your own mind, your own soul, that you're great just as you are. And yes, we all have things that we can do that are better, but we are great. Our foundation is greatness. We stand on it, we stand in it, and we are it. And then the last thing I would say is that so often we act impulsively without really thinking. But I want you to slow that down, slow that process down. Communication, whether it's verbal, nonverbal, between an action occurs. This is the way you think about communication and think about the fact that you're always communicating. You can't not communicate. You're communicating with your silence, you're communicating with your words, you're communicating with your body language. And as between your body language and your words, the person that you're communicating with will always believe the nonverbal communication. So what you say out of your mouth doesn't really matter. It is voided by what your behavior is. Now, related to communication, I want you to think about it. This is how you slow it down. An action occurs. Between an action and a reaction, there is a space. And in that space, you get to decide, am I going to act? Am I going to react impulsively or am I going to respond? If I react impulsively, then I don't even think about it. It's like that space doesn't exist. Something happens, somebody says something, and I immediately respond. I immediately say what's on my mind, and typically without a filter. A response, there is a pause. You make a conscious decision to pause. You interrupt the pattern, you interrupt the thought. If you can do that, oftentimes what you'll find is that, I mean, why even use my energy to respond to this? It's just not that important. Or if it is important enough for a response, then what you find is that because you slowed it down, you slowed your thinking down, and you can do that by just breathing. Deep breaths, 3 or 4 deep breaths will take you out of that space of impulsive action, right? So when you are responding, it gives you the chemicals that have flooded your brain when that person pissed you off. It gives those chemicals an opportunity to settle and you get clarity. When your brain is clouded with that chemical response, you can't think. You just say whatever comes out. So between the action and your action, there is that space. You get to decide, I'm going to react or respond. Reacting happens immediately based on your subconscious programming. Response is a measured, intentional action on your part. I encourage you to always go for the response.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. We still got 7 strong in here. Thank you, Zam, Michelle, and Angelique, Monique. I saw Vic slide through here too tonight. Who else is in here? Michelle, Uncle Michelle. We already know Michelle. I'm gonna say just shit one more time for you, Michelle. Katia was in the building. Hey, Katia, I miss you. I think there's anybody I saw come through. I just wanted to make sure I said hey to everybody. Oh, Jamie came through. Hey, what's up, Jamie? So we getting ready to get on off of here. I did want to share a couple of dates with you guys. Coming up Sunday, I am going to be live at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. That is 7 Pacific and 10 Eastern with Coach Shay Schiff Wilson will be in the building. And then next Sunday I have Ebony Willis. So it's just candid community conversations. If anybody want to be a guest on the episodes, just let me know. Hit me up. I do have March is full, put it that way. So starting April, if anyone wants to be in there in April, let me know. Also, the calibration masterclass series continues on Sunday the 23rd. So anytime I have a masterclass, I don't have the Sunday live. So that's going to be same time, 9 a.m. in the morning. And the topic is, like I was saying earlier, what's in your hand. It's learning to calibrate from confusion to clarity. So when you said that earlier, when you said clarity, I'm going to hit the replay. I'll tag you right there. When you said that, just grin so big, I'm like, I just love it when it's like the driving example I was talking about earlier. You get in the car, you just drive, you just go where you go, you stop where you stop, you meet who you meet, and then somewhere along the way, it just aligns to let you know that even if it's a leisure Sunday drive, it lets you know this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So when she said calibrate, or when she said clarity, I was like, that is exactly it, because I wrote that right before we went live. So that was amazing. So again, that's 9 a.m. on the 23rd of March. It's through a Zoom link. If you're not a part of ATBA or Sacred Queen Society, all you got to do is go through there. You'll find the link through there. And then August 2nd, I'm already going to put it out there. I'm having a women's conference August 2nd. The speaker is going to be Ashley Moore. She was my speaker last year at the women's conference. She is coming to Huntsville. So anyone that's in Huntsville, please let all the women know this is a women's conference. Any woman please invite the queens. We're going to have an absolutely amazing time. The tickets will go on sale at the end of this month, and we're going to have a good time. I really want you to come, and we want you to be there. If you're not already a member of the Enterprise membership, if you sign up for that, that's only $60 for the whole year, and you get it 15% off the ticket. So I don't see why you wouldn't. So let me know if you want more information. Dr. Sue, I want you, if you got anything going on or you want to share before we get on out of here.
The only thing I've got coming up is a series of webinars where I'll be talking about mind mastery and teaching people how to do that. But I'll be posting that probably within the next couple of days. I'll come on ATBA and do a little thing and on my Facebook book pages and tell people about it. But that's what's coming up for me.
That's absolutely perfect. Well, we love y'all. Join us again, not next Friday, but the Friday after that. What's that date? Today's the 15th, so that'll be on the 29th. Come and join us again. Same back channel, same back time. We love you so much. Pay close attention to this video coming up, because by next time y'all see us, I'm going to have this video updated for 2026. And I'm going to have a link ready for y'all to put your deposits down, because when I tell you there's only 30 spots, there's only 30 spots. And we ain't rearranging nothing, because the number was given to me by divine. If you want to be in the room, you better start planning right now, because it's going to be a doozy. Okay? Bye, y'all. We're going to see y'all.
As I was thinking about what we are doing, it really is an opportunity for people to connect with their beingness. We are not conscious of the compartmentalization. We just say, this is who I am, right? Who you are is different depending on the environment that you find yourself in, or the people that you find yourself connected with. So I hold myself out as an example. At 71 years old, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey to self-acceptance. And I think it may be that way for many of us, that we look at the pieces of ourselves and decide, I can show that. No, I can't show that. Is there a danger? How deep is the danger if I show you all of me? Oh, I can show these people this part of me, and these people this part of me, and these people this part of me. And then the question is, how long before you get tired of just compartmentalizing your beingness